Hi, welcome to What Do I Guys Show, Marty. And on this channel, I do unboxings, retro video game reviews, movie reviews. I just happen to have this sitting right here, this kind of thing. And I was just on Swell Entertainment, and she was talking about how the last Duel with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, Comer Lady, Ridley Scott directed. It's bombing or bombed. I guess it's in the past tense now. It bombed. And Ridley Scott was blaming millennials for being apathetic. And I kind of agree with what her name is on Swell Entertainment was just saying. Like, I think this is maybe what you're describing as more Generation Z than millennials. I don't know or care. So I'm just going to give my 2 cents why I didn't want to go see this film. And I did get the Omicron. I did get coronavirus. Still waiting to go back to work on Tuesday for like 3 weeks being out with this shit. Better now though. But that had nothing to do with anything. In the last so many days, I could have went and saw it if I wanted to. But I'd never had any inclination to go see this film. Here's why. It's my perception from what I've seen with the advertisements and the reviews of it. It sounds like a giant lecture about feminism. I'm 39 years old. I've been hearing this lecture for 39 fucking years. I don't want to hear it anymore. Not that you shouldn't make that movie. If you want to make that movie, that's fine by me. Go make your movie. I'm not going to try to get in your way. But I don't want to go to a movie theater, pay the $20 with the Coke and the popcorn and everything, and get a lecture about how much of an asshole I am for being born a male. And that's my perception of what this film is. Everybody says it looks phenomenal. Everybody talks about the sound design. Everybody says the performances are really good. The hair is weird, but the acting's solid. As a movie goes, it's a good movie. And they talk about the 3 acts, 3 chapters, and you see everything from the different vantage points. The same thing happens over and again. You see it from different vantage points. And then the woman's, and they're all French names. I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but the woman's vantage point is the true one, apparently. So the two guys had their bias, and Matt Damon's character is a soldier. He's fought many campaigns, and he says he's defending his wife's honor, but really he's defending his reputation or something. Adam Driver apparently, through the film, suggests that he did in fact sexual assault this woman, though he claims his innocence, and so it's like there was no one else to witness it. So it's a he said, she said situation. But the film takes the perspective that she was assaulted. That's not a film I'm in a hurry to go see. That's something, if I was at somebody's house and it was on, I would watch it, but I'm not going to go to the theater and pay money to see a story which is basically, at the end of the day, about a rape. That's the crux of the story. She got raped, or is she lying? And then these two guys fight to the death. One of them gets killed over this. Did it happen? Didn't happen. And then Ben Affleck is there. And so I am in no hurry to go see the film. That's a story I'm not interested in. And you can say, well, you should be educated about the patriarchy and the women's rights. It's like, I am. When I was in college, I was a liberal. I volunteered on numerous campaigns for progressives, Environmental Council. I chaired Amnesty International on our campus for 2 years, our chapter, I guess. We coordinated with all those with the LGBT group on campus, all the different minority groups that had different groups, and we worked on campaigns together for years. I am familiar. I went to a liberal arts college. I have a bachelor's degree, and at a liberal arts college, and I worked. I was a political science major. I worked on all these campaigns, wrote all the papers. I lived it, breathed it, slept it. Issue-based campaigns, electoral campaigns, and I don't fucking want anything to do with it ever again. Um, we got frickin' Obama elected to be let down for 8 years as he did not a goddamn thing. Liberalism was a positive thing that became a hate movement, hate white people and hate men. And now every single film that comes out has to have the message and has to preach this stuff. And it's like, 20 years ago, I would have run to go see this film maybe. Now I'm sick and tired of it. In every movie that gets made, there has to be a message about the patriarchy. It has to have a feminist message, a strong female lead. All the men have to be horrible monsters. You can't have some dude who's just going about his day. That can't be, not anymore. You can't have a film where Bill and Ted, happen into Rufus and they go back in time to save the day. Nope, now it's about their daughters. It can't be about Bill and Ted. It has to be about the girls. If you make Young Guns about Billy the Kid, now it has to be Elma the Kid. Or Elma? Billy, i.e., like a chick's name. Pam the Kid. And she, strong female empowerment in the Old West. Everything has to have a man. I'm just sick and tired of fucking hearing it. And it isn't new. In the 80s, we had this. In the 90s, we had this. In the 2000s, we had this. So here's this message that Ridley Scott, and then they're like, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are back together as writers for the first time since Good Will Hunting. Aren't you excited about that? No. Here's two woke twats who sold out decades ago, haven't done anything remotely interesting since Dogma, and together. And just, no, I'm not in a hurry because what am I going to get from Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? A lecture about female empowerment. I'm not paying for that. I'm not going to dedicate time to that. I'm sick and tired of the goddamn message. And if it wasn't every single film that gets made and every single commercial that comes out, everything has the same 2 or 3 themes. Diversity, female empowerment. Diversity, female empowerment. Diversity, female empowerment. That's it. And the occasional save the environment anymore. And I don't disagree, but you're not teaching me anything that I haven't heard a billion times for the last 40 fucking years. So you took female empowerment and put it in a different setting. And then the next time it'll be about dinosaurs. And then the next time it'll be space ninjas. And then the next time it'll be a courtroom drama. But it's the same lecture. You're a horrible son of a bitch because you're a male. Women should get everything handed to them on a silver platter. And while I'm watching this and hearing the reviews about this is what I heard. Matt Damon went to war for his country to defend France against the English, and he fought valiantly while his wife sat on ass and did nothing. Gee, I wonder why we have a glass ceiling. And then Matt Damon went to another war and fought again. And then when this happened, he put his life at risk to fight to defend his wife's honor. While she sat there. This rich lady with all this stuff, here I'm working for $15 an hour at a job I can't fucking stand anymore. A production line worker. My knees hurt, my ankles hurt, my back hurts. I'm feeling a lot better now because I've had 3 freaking weeks off of work. But now I'm down to $500 to my name until I get some paychecks coming back and when I go back to work. And here's this lady living in a mansion or a castle or something. And I'm supposed to feel bad for her when her whole world has been handed to her. You know who I feel bad for? The women I work with every day, coming all sore and beat up, doing the same job I do. I respect them. I feel bad for them. They need a break. Just like me. Every time. It's never some poor farm girl. making minimum wage. It's never some lady works at a factory. It's always some rich lady with a lot more than I could dream to have. But because she doesn't get non-specific goals met, I'm supposed to feel bad for her. I can't. Not driving that Ford with 120,000 miles on it. If that goes south, I have no idea how I'm getting to work every day. I got less than $500 in my bank account. That's everything I have. And if the transmission goes on that car, I have no idea how I'm going to be employed. And I'm supposed to, but this lady lives in a castle, married to this rich guy. And she married a rich guy. Oh, I'll marry a rich lady and raise the kids. Have you ever worked at a production facility like I do? Walking around on concrete all day, stacking broken down boxes and 65-pound rubber pallets. You know what that does to your back? It hurts. Always. You know what that does to your knees? They hurt. Always. I'm in pain. Always. Then I get the frickin' coof. So I'm sitting here in misery for 2 weeks, and I'm supposed to snap out of it and go get lectured at about how this poor rich lady who's had everything handed to her, everything, her whole world just got handed to her because these guys did all the heavy lifting. And I'm supposed to give a shit. I don't. I'm not happy that she got sexually assaulted. But there too, hey, do you wanna take $20 out of the less than 500 you got to your name while you're out of work until you get better from the coof? And do you want to go and spend that $20 to see a movie about a rape? Aren't you in a hurry? You can't just wait to get here's a horribly depressing story, and then the guy gets killed. The two dudes who used to be friends kill each other. Aren't you in a hurry to see that one? No! With all the shit I got to deal with and things I need to get done, and I don't need more. You know, I got my plate is full of stress. I don't need more negativity and downers, man. You know what I could use? Somebody take some off my plate. I could use less stress. I would like to go and see a good comedy, but I can't because it's all lectures about the patriarchy, and it's all lectures about, don't you just love diversity? Don't you want more diversity? Do you want more diversity? Do you want more female empowerment? Do you know about the patriarchy? Do you know about the glass ceiling? Has anyone told you about the glass ceiling lately and the patriarchy and feminism? You should vote for Hillary Clinton. It's her turn. I don't know. Nothing about that sounds enticing. Here's three, I guess. Ridley Scott. And everybody's like, but it's the genius, Ridley Scott. Oh, the guy who made Prometheus. And they're like, but he made Gladiator, and he made Aliens, and there's a third one I don't remember. It's like, yeah, he did make Gladiator was pretty good. Aliens is a legend. And I'm pretty sure he made Black Hawk Down. That was a good one. And then he made Prometheus. Not in a hurry. Not in a hurry, Ridley. You've shat in my Cheerios too many times to appreciate the Cheerios. That's Ridley Scott. I'm not in a hurry to go see anything by Ridley Scott. And while the film aesthetically looks good, he knows how to visually make a film for sure. The story sounds like shat in my Cheerios. And I'm not in a hurry for seconds and eighths and 500ths on that one, Ridley. I don't want to hear a lecture about the patriarchy, and I don't care if it's 1392 or this month. So it's like, well, we've lectured the living shit at you about the patriarchy and about strong female leads and female empowerment, But that's current day. Let's take it back to medieval times and give you the exact same lecture you've been hearing for 40 years. Oh, but it's kings and queens and dukes and lords. It's got a great sound design. Don't you want to hear the lecture about the patriarchy with a great sound design? No. Well, then what if we gave you a lecture about the patriarchy and it was set in the universe of the Ghostbusters and there's 4 strong female empowered Ghostbusters? Do you want to see that movie? No. I don't want to hear a lecture about the patriarchy. I don't want to hear a lecture about female empowerment. I don't, 40 years. Where's the movie? I was born in 1982. Let's do a deep dive. Where's the movie that has come out in my lifetime that said women should get back in the kitchen and make babies and sandwiches? It doesn't exist. It's all female empowerment films, or just didn't cover, like, what would it be? Rounders. Didn't really cover the subject matter. It was about a bunch of guys. I'd go see Rounders. You want to go see Rounders? A bunch of guys playing poker. That was fun. Remember that? Or was it Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman? And they try to solve the murder, and the guy's killing all the people. There wasn't a strong, a lecture about the patriarchy in that movie, but it wasn't really relevant to what was going on. It was more about society as a whole. I'll go see that movie. But where's the film that says women should go back into the kitchen? When did Hollywood do that? When did concrete wall of liberalism, where you can't make a conservative, the guy who made Red Dawn and the Schwarzenegger Conan movies, the hell was his name? He was conservative. He was the one guy in the last 50 years who's a conservative filmmaker who made a conservative film. And that was 1980 what? Everything in Hollywood is liberal. So if at any point in time a film came out and it was a bad skis, then Hollywood points at us and says, "You sons of bitches." It's like, but you do this. There's not enough diversity in films and the Oscars, and it's Hollywood saying that. It's like, well, then, since you guys are Hollywood, shouldn't you address this? What am I, a blue-collar production line worker in the middle of America, in a cornfield, surrounded by corn? We've got a chicken coop right over there. I think it's on that side. Yeah. And I'm the one who's going to put more female empowerment in movies when I'm fixing my Ford? Like, why are you lecturing me about this, Hollywood? Shouldn't you be lecturing yourself, the people who actually make these decisions? The high-powered executives? Shouldn't you be talking to you? So you didn't put enough female leads and female empowerment in your movies in the last 30 years, and not enough diversity and the patriarchy. So you need to lecture me, a guy who has no say in a fucking thing anywhere, about what you, the rich, powerful Hollywood executives, haven't been doing enough of. Why am I getting that lecture again? Why aren't you getting that lecture? And then you get all this lecture about sexual assaults. Okay, well, let's go down the list of how many Hollywood people have been #MeToo lately. Is there anybody who hasn't? So me, a guy who works graveyard shifts, we're driving his Ford, just trying to get bills paid. How am I going to pay rent when I've missed work for going on 3 weeks? That's my principal concern right now. My primary concern, I guess, would be the proper nomenclature. But I'm going to get the lecture about sexual assaults. Shouldn't you be giving yourself the lecture? The land of #MeToo. Shouldn't you be giving yourself? Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, a known womanizer, is going to write a script lecturing me about how I'm a horrible person for being born male, when he's the one that does this shit. I don't know if he's ever, gone to that extent, but he's a manipulator. He's having sex with other women when he's married. Somebody tell J-Lo. And that asshole's going to lecture me. And then where were these guys when Harvey Weinstein was going on? These guys have been working with Harvey Weinstein for 30 years, and they're going to lecture me about the patriarchy and everything. Where were you on that one? No, I am not in a hurry to go see this film. In fact, I'm not going to go see this film. Because I'm not going to get a lecture about anything mentioned from a bunch of fucking hypocrites who did nothing about it for 30 years when they were in a position to do something about it. But I need to know? No, I don't. Ben Affleck, you need to know about this shit. Listen to your own lecture, bitch. I'm not listening to it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I don't know about it. And there's nothing that I haven't done. So I just, fuck you. Hollywood, fuck you. You horrible people. You just horrible people. I'm not going to go see a film about fucking anything. And it doesn't matter the setting and the sound design and the costumes. It's the same lecture. Not going. So that's my thoughts on that. Good luck.